Hey, welcome back to Music Theory Logic. Andrew here, and today is going to be another music theory breakdown where I recreate popular songs so that you can better understand some music theory. If I sound a little congested or you notice my bed broken down behind me, that's because this last week I was diagnosed with COVID. I believe it's the Omicron. Don't really notice much difference aside from some congestion, so if I sound funny, that is why. I'm glad I felt up to keeping these music theory breakdowns coming. We're talking about one that's pretty close to my heart. This is by Kanye West. This is off his critically acclaimed album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, one of my favorite Kanye albums. We're going to be talking about Gorgeous. This is a pretty awesome song that involves some electric guitar, which is exactly why I was inclined to do this. I literally was just going out for a walk, trying to get some vitamin D, some sunshine. Put on this album, this song came on, and I was like, I gotta recreate it. This would be a fun one. So without further ado, let's go ahead into the logic session. So if you haven't seen these before, I don't play the original audio. I'm just going to play my recreation of the audio because we're not hearing these incredible vocalists. This song features Kid Cudi and Raekwon. I've made the arrangement shorter. So without further ado, here's my recreation of Gorgeous by Kanye West featuring Kid Cudi and Raekwon. If you find these helpful, you'd help me out a ton by subscribing. Here it is. Hard not to sing along to records you love. Cool. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Let's go ahead into the music theory. This song, Gorgeous, is in the key of C sharp minor. C sharp minor seems like a daunting key because it has 4 black keys. But again, if you have my music theory text linked below, one of my goals of this channel is to show you that with just a little bit of knowledge, you can unlock so much different songwriting, music production skills. So if you were to write the white keys in MIDI or play keys from A to A on a piano, you would have A natural minor. If you drag that up so that the A becomes a C sharp, you instantly have C sharp minor. And that sounds like this. The notes in C sharp minor are going to be C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and C sharp. This song really uses 3 chords. The 1 chord, C sharp minor, that has C sharp, E, and G. The 7 chord, a B major, that has B, D sharp, and F sharp. And the 3, an E major, E, G sharp, and B. Now, E major is the relative major of C sharp minor. So we could define this song as being in the key of E major, but it felt like a little bit more of a dissonant or dark texture. It is called My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So I'm doing this analysis in the key of C sharp minor. All right, let's go through the various sections of the song. So the drums, we'll start with that on their own, sound like this. So not perfect at all, especially the sound selection. I'm just using default Logic instruments for the drums. So the kick is happening on every beat 1. The snare and clap are happening on beat 2 and 4. We call that a standard backbeat. We're at 92.5 beats per minute. If you're wondering how you create decimal beats, you have to be in a custom ruler up here. All right, so that covers our kick and snare. Super simple. If I mute the cymbals, it sounds like this. Now, you'll notice that one of these, the clap, is actually behind time. That goes a long way to help us replicate the sound of this. I don't know him. I know of him. I've never met Kanye West, one of the best producers to ever walk the planet. And he uses an MPC or does a lot of programming of drums with drum machines, so they're not perfectly to the grid. So by putting stuff slightly out of time, that's going to help match the original. The cymbals, we've got basically open and closed hi-hats. It's 2/8 notes of open, and then 2/16 notes of closed. The second 2/16 notes right here. Then we go back to open. Then we do another closed on the second to last 1/8 note of the measure. That repeats throughout most of the song, although we do hear filtering, so the drums kind of go away in the bridge, which we'll talk about. Mix-wise, in the original, the clap and kick are a lot louder than our cymbals. The drums, once again, on their own, sound like this. Now, another thing you can do to help make your drums feel like they have more soul and aren't as rigid, you can take advantage of your DAW's quantize feature using some swing. So I have the 16th note swinging out at 35, and that only affects the second 16th note, so mainly that one. All right, cool. Let's go ahead to our bass line. The bass line is following the root notes of the chords for the first two chords, and then it basically mimics the guitar. So the bass is going C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, B, 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 and then this is mimicking the riff. So the first time it goes F sharp, G sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, E. All right, that's the same thing the guitar is playing. Then the second time, it's just a variation of that. It goes F sharp, G sharp. These are the same. Back to F sharp, then E, then C sharp. All right. That with the drums sounds like this. All right, cool. Moving along, we get this organ. The organ sound is playing the chords in this track. It's doing the one chord, C sharp minor, followed by a B major chord. Then, just like the bass line, it's playing the same notes up an octave that come from the guitar riff. So we're going F sharp, G sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then the second time, F sharp, G sharp, then F sharp, E, C sharp. All right, those keys, the organ on their own sounds like this. All right, so the very, very last one, instead of a C sharp minor, we hear an E major. Now, what's interesting about an E major versus C sharp minor is it shares two of the notes as this with C sharp minor. This note B added to that chord in context is really it's an E major chord, but that also happens to be the top three notes of a C sharp minor 7th chord. Awesome. That major harmony is pretty noticeable if you listen to that. Again, the end of every 8-measure sequence in the song. Cool. Let's go through. Let's hear the bass, the drums, and our keys all together. We'll watch the keys. Here comes that E major. All right. Now, a lot of the soul from this track comes from the guitar playing. This, I believe, is a sample. This album, Power, is a King Crimson sample. I'm sure my brother David, shout out to David, he would definitely know where this sample comes from. But I played it live on the guitar. So when you were hearing the track, you heard my live guitar. But like many of these tracks, when I play guitar on them, I also chart it into MIDI so that you can see what's happening and how you would do this in MIDI. So the notes that are happening are C sharp. So I'll turn this instrument on. The MIDI on its own sounds like this. It's not nearly as good as live guitar, which is why I played it. It sounds like this. Super loud. Softer. All right, so a couple things. First of all, the notes that are happening are C sharp, E, E, and then the second part is E, F sharp, G sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, back to E. Second time, starts out the same, C sharp, E, 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 F sharp, G sharp, all the same here. Then our ending is E, E, back to C sharp. Now, this E is actually a whole step bend, so we're really hearing an F. The line you see beneath us here is our pitch bend. Now, 0 is basically no pitch bend. When you see this line move, I'm bending the pitch. That is something that if you want to do MIDI-controlled guitar and make it sound more soulful or more realistic, you can definitely try doing that. Guitar is one of the instruments where I feel like you can never replicate like the feel of a true live guitar player, and this Kanye, the entire album has a lot of that live feel to it. So if you have a friend that plays guitar and you don't play guitar, that can be a really great opportunity to collaborate. You could have him over, record him or her play guitar, and you could chop it up for literally hundreds and hundreds of samples, making tons of songs. So the guitar, we'll watch the MIDI, but we'll hear my guitar, and you'll notice that I recreate the bend. So right here, I do a bend up. That's very bluesy. Makes sense. King Crimson, I'm sure, would have played riffs like that. I feel like reminiscent of B.B. King every time that happens. Let's hear that on its own. Actually, let's just hear the guitars. Get this. All right, so that basically repeats for most of the song. Perhaps it's because I play guitar, but again, this album won a Grammy. This song has like 1 billion streams, so I can't be the only person that loves this track. Hopefully you enjoy it. That's how you stumbled onto this video. But again, the guitar, that live feel really adds so much to the track. So once again, here is everything together. Cool. Now, the really awesome part about bending notes on the guitar, I'm playing in the key of C sharp minor. But when you bend notes, you're playing notes in between two notes, and that gives you dissonance. It also does what a vocal does. Singers, even if they're the best singers on the planet, they don't only hit the perfect notes that would be really boring. That would sound like auto-tune. They're hitting into perfect notes and bending out of perfect notes, and guitar is a really similar sort of sound to it. At least when I'm playing guitar, I like to think of it as singing. Cool. And you probably noticed I've been doing a lot of shorts. If that annoys you, just let me know. I am told I need to create a lot of content, so I do that, and I love playing guitar, and I'm always doing it. So I've kind of fallen into putting out versions, playing the main parts on guitar for songs I break down, like this one that I earlier today put out a short playing that actual song. So the only other part to talk about is the bridge. The bridge sounds like this. All right, for the first time, the chord progression changes. We start on our C sharp minor, up to a B major, up to an F sharp minor. That's the 4 chord. Cool. The piano on its own sounds like this. And again, that's C sharp minor, E major, the 1 chord, the 3 chord, F sharp minor, the 4 chord, and then it hits that 3 back to the 4 chord, just the E note as opposed to that full E chord. All right, cool. I'll play it from the bridge out to the next verse. Awesome. I had a lot of fun recreating that track. Once again, I say this in my text, but I think one of the best drills or things you can do to practice producing or understanding your DAW is just to take an instrumental that you really enjoy and just try to recreate it. You'll stumble across all sorts of plugins and techniques and hear things in the song that, even if it's a song you've heard for many years and love, like this song, you'll discover more things about it. Once again, my name's Andrew. Thank you for tuning in to Music Theory Logic. If you found this helpful, you'd help me out a ton by subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications so you know when I make a video next, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful week, and hopefully I'm not as congested next time I do a video. Cheers.